All right, well, I started the show with Happy Brexit Day or Happy Democracy Day if you're not in the UK. But right away this morning, right across the country, people are preparing to officially leave the EU as Brexit is formalised at 11 p.m. tonight, UK time. Joining me now to discuss the national mood on this day of history is the CNN's UK correspondent Max Foster, live from Downing Street. Well, Max, great to have you. It's dawn is breaking over there in London. Boris Johnson says, let's not see this as an ending, but a beginning. What's the mood like?
Well, everyone's just carrying on as normal. It's remarkable, really. Such a build-up, years of negotiations, divisiveness, anger, joy, all sorts, absolutely dominating the political and news agenda here. And suddenly we get to the day where Britain leaves the European Union and everyone's just plodding along as normal. It's extraordinary. Tonight there won't be any big moment. There'll be a light show here in Downing Street. But as you say, Boris Johnson really talking about this being the beginning of a new era, not the end of all the divisiveness of the past. And I think actually a lot of people have resigned themselves, Remainers I'm talking about here, to the fact that Britain is leaving the European Union, and probably they do want to move on to the next phase. Of course, Peter, there are huge challenges now because the really difficult work, you could argue, is just beginning.
Well, Australia is a country with similar constitutional arrangements to Britain, but we're no strangers when it comes to making our own trade deals. You'll now do what Australia does on a routine basis and strike usually bilateral, sometimes trilateral and regional agreements. Tell me a little bit about this transitional period, because it's not an immediate change into the post-Brexit world tonight, is it?
There's a transition period, and all those European laws will continue to be upheld, most of them at least, during that transition period. And what we're looking at is the end of the year, where Boris Johnson wants to have a trade deal signed, a free trade deal signed with the European Union. That's hugely ambitious. As you say, Australia's got lots of experience of this, and they take years to get deals done like this, but Boris Johnson seems to think he can do it by the end of the year. Most experts saying that's impossible, but I'll put my neck out and suggest that he'll have some sort of form of words to sign by the end of the year, even if it isn't the final trade agreement. There are all sorts of other complications here, because obviously in Brussels they're aware that Boris Johnson wants to sign a deal with Donald Trump in the United States on a US-UK trade deal, but that would also impact US-EU trade relations as well. And the EU is a much bigger bloc and arguably more economically important for the US. So all of these political machinations are going to continue into next year. If Boris Johnson does achieve it by the end of the year, it will be extraordinary. And some people argue it is possible because you can pretty much base it on what's there already, but there's so much bureaucracy to go through before we get there.
Oh yeah, there's a huge amount of work. I don't know whether it's Brexit fatigue or if it's just, keep calm and carry on, but we'll see how things evolve from now. It's dawn there. Of course, it doesn't happen until 11 p.m. your time tonight. I know I'll be one that'll be watching closely all the way through to 11 p.m. Good luck with the hours ahead. I'm sure you'll be very busy on the journalistic front. Thanks for your time tonight, Max.
Thank you.